Warmer is the funniest line I've ever heard in real life. It killed me when my friend said it. Now, warmer is not a funny word, but in context, it was really funny. And as we're talking about writing for the games I make, the kind of games I make, context is everything. So I make like Left 4 Dead's and the Anacrusis, and they're both kind of like run and gun. You don't know what's going to be happening at the time you're talking or where you're at. And so you have to take in all this data and you have to be playing the game a bunch so you have context. It's always weird to me when writers don't play their game. I will play our game more than anybody else because I have to have context. So first I play the game and I play it as the character. So I'm Coach and I'm running through the mall. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about the food court, right? I'm like, that's my character. But now, then I play it as the player playing Coach and what are their expectations and how are they thinking that Coach is thinking of the thing, right? So it's like a little bit of a level of depth to it and it adds a little bit different of the writing because you want to have the players. And Zoe was really good at this of knowing like, hey, you know what I know about these movies here. I'm going to make jokes about them and it'll work. Right. And so a lot of that comes from that. And so you have this context to this and you're always trying to build this because you don't have cutscenes and you can't set up a joke. And so you really aren't making a bunch of jokes. Like a lot of my writing isn't jokes. It's just kind of like this jolly going along in a way that makes you laugh. And it comes from the characters, right? Because like in real life, you're not often just making jokes nonstop. And sometimes you're just saying the simplest words. So warmer. This is the 80s. Bear with me. We're at Kent State. I go to Kent State. I live in College Towers. It's a fine apartment building. I live not in this unit we're talking about. This unit's like on the 4th floor or something. And a bunch of us are together, and a friend had broken up with his girlfriend, and we're all drinking. And a friend goes out on the balcony, and we just hear boom, 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 boom. And he's shooting a gun. It wasn't a serious gun. I know us Americans and our guns, but like there's serious guns and there's non-serious guns. It's not a non-serious gun. And a guy comes out from the balcony next to him. He's like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, I'm shooting the shit out of a car. What does it look like? Duh. And like, that's kind of how we're handling it. No one's really flipping out, right? And then, of course, like 5 minutes later, it's just boom, 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 boom on the door. And it's the Kent police. Now, it's not the Kent State police. It's the Kent police. It's the big boys. The big boys who once tried to arrest me for running too fast. That's another story. But so we're in there, and we're like, oh. And so he takes the gun and puts it between 2 mattresses in the bedroom. So now it's like bedrooms over here, living room, kitchen, dining room, door. Like doors over here. And then there's 2 bedrooms on the other side. And so the cops come in, and they're serious. It's a gun. They I think, are less worried that we're going to shoot somebody and more worried that we're drunks with a gun, right? Which is fair. But now none of us are going to snitch, so we're all just being silent. The cops are yelling. They're trying to do their yelling thing. And there's like a lot of tension, and it's going on. And we're like talking like 20 minutes in. And no, we're closer to the gun. None of us are snitching. None of us are like, you can tell me I'm going to jail. It's fine. I'm not. We're cool. We're cool. And so we're all just sitting in the room. And all of a sudden, it's like nobody's moving, and it's like nobody's moving for like 5 minutes or something. Like it's all just like a stalemate. And then all of a sudden, though, one of the cops moves towards the bedroom, and my friend says, "Warmer." Now, for some of you, that may make it's not funny. For us, we couldn't stop laughing. We busted up. The cops even smiled. Because what my friend was telling that cop was, we're going to play hot and cold, which is a game as a kid growing up back then, is where you hide something. And if you get closer to it, you say warmer. If you get further away from it, you say colder. And it's like this radar to find it. And he did that with the cop. And they found the gun. But he made him do hot and cold the entire time. Again, and the nerve to say that and to do that and to set that up so that out of this silence, and it's hard to really just capture how silent and how angry and how like threatening they were, to diffuse it by saying warmer. But in context, that was the best joke I ever heard. That guy had his own kind of crazy energy that I've brought into some things I've worked on. But like, that's kind of my writing, right? Is you build this context so that, and you have this understanding of what's going on, so that when you can say a word, it doesn't have to be a joke. You could just say a word or about something, or talking about the food court, and all of a sudden you realize, well, in the context of a zombie apocalypse, it's kind of funny.